Hello, and welcome back to another thrilling episode of IPoly. I'm Kobo.
And I'm On. This past Tuesday was Super Tuesday.
Ryan and Matthew have some results and info on what happened.
Tuesday was Super Tuesday, which means all the results from everyone participating in Super Tuesday are in. So let's have Mr. Anaya explain what Super Tuesday is, and then we'll go to what the final results are. So Mr. Anaya, why is Super Tuesday such a big deal?
Well, it's the main thing that the different parties, so the Democratic National Party and the Republican Party, use to see who has the most vote, popular vote, in order to select who they're going to put on the ballot come next, the big primary election for president in 2020.
And why is California in Super Tuesday since it hasn't been for 12 years?
California, they should have been, but for whatever reason they decided to change it a while ago, and it was kind of after the fact. So both parties kind of already had their candidate selected by the time California was voting on that part of it. So it was kind of like a moot point, like it wasn't really doing anything. So now that they're actually moving it back to Super Tuesday, California has an actual say in who's going to get both parties' nominations, which is a big deal for California since we have a lot of votes and we have the highest population. So.
Thank you, Mr. Anaya. And now here's the Super Tuesday results in California. We have Bernie Sanders, who won with 29.6% of the votes. Then we have Joe Biden, who had 19% of the votes. We have Michael Bloomberg, who had 17.7% of the votes. Then there was Elizabeth Warren, who had 12% of the votes. And finally, there was Tulsi Gabbard, who had 0.7% of the votes. Out of all the candidates, there were two main winners. There was Bernie Sanders and there was Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders got the majority vote in California, Colorado, Utah, and Vermont, while Joe Biden got the majority vote in Alabama, Arkansas, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. Because they won, it just means that they're delegates for the 2020 presidential election. But we'll just have to wait and see how that turns out. News Desk, back to you.
Outside of school, many students fill their free time scrolling through Instagram and other social media apps.
But some students actually create their own content for the whole world to view.
Let's check out these creative individuals.
Hi, my name is Patrick from IPoly, and today we're going to be looking at IPoly's content creators. So as you know, we have our regular school projects, which we have to do. But we also have people who like to make their own stuff, such as Instagram videos, YouTube videos, or we even have people that are famous on TikTok. We're here to find out who those people are, interview them, and figure out some interesting facts about them. So let's get on with it.
Honestly, I got started pretty randomly. I was laying in bed one day and I kind of just decided that I want Instagram because I used to have an iPod Touch and I couldn't run Instagram.
I got the program and I messed around with it. I don't know what I did. A lot of the things I do, I don't even know what I'm doing.
I got bored one day, so I was like, you know what? There's this app that people keep talking about, so I was like, why not try it out?
I had a friend who was famous on TikTok, and she told me, she's like, you should make an account, like, just for fun. And I was like, all right, for sure. So then I just, like, posting stuff that I thought was funny.
My main inspiration, I take a lot of landscape photos, mainly because I feel like the environment is deteriorating and I want to play a part in protecting it.
It's mostly just what I'm feeling and Avicii. And just like, yeah, that's it.
My main inspiration is trying to think of stuff that I just think is funny. So if I think it's funny and that people can relate to it, then I'll post it.
Before, it wasn't really anything. I didn't really have the need to post content. And then I started making friends off of the app. And then I got a boyfriend. And that's my inspiration now, along with like friends and stuff.
In the future, I'm hoping to do it professionally, but it's not gonna happen anytime soon, I know that for sure.
Trying to pursue photography as like a career further after high school. I'm working with some pretty big people, which I'm excited about, so hopefully that gives me opportunity to grow.
Yeah, I try to post once a day to keep up with it, and my goal is to hopefully hit 100K by the end of the month, if not next month. We'll see. Yeah.
I don't view this as anything along the lines of sort of like career or even like a hobby. For me, it's just whenever I feel like it, I'll do it, or just if I have something to post, I'll post it.
So you heard it here, folks. Some people at IPoly like to make their own content. It's interesting to see that we have aspiring creators who want to become famous or create their own content for fun. It's also nice to see that we have a wide variety of people using different platforms. Also, don't forget, I also have my own YouTube channel. But the point of it all being is it's nice to see that we have different people creating different things. So that's it with this segment. Back to News Desk.
Now for your ASB Minute.
What's up, IPoly? It's me, Omar.
Hi, it's Miana E.
And here's your ASB Minute. So first off, I want to start with Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be mandatory meetings if you plan to run for ASB next year. So make sure you go to those if you're planning to. And also make sure you keep your ears and eyes open for any softball game news.
Okay, so for food sales, on Monday we're going to be selling nachos. On Tuesday we're going to be selling pizza and hot chocolate in the morning. On Wednesday we're going to be selling In-N-Out. And on Thursday, as you all know, we are going to be selling pizza again and then hot chocolate in the morning.
Alright, and that's all for your ASB Minute.
IPoly has a lot of important upcoming events.
Today after school, drama is hosting an improv show. It's $3 for students and $5 for adults.
Career Fair is next Friday, Friday the 13th. Richard and Emmanuel will be covering the ins and outs of the fair itself.
Speaking of things next week, next Monday is Daylight Savings.
We sent out Jenna and EJ to see what the IPoly's community's opinions are on it.
Daylight savings time is coming up, which means things are going to be changing. We decided to ask the people here at IPoly what they thought, and whether or not they think that we should still have daylight savings time. Here's what they thought. When was daylight savings time established?
Pretty sure the first country to actually institute it was Germany in World War I, with its allies, so Austria and I think Turkey also jumped on board. It was established for a couple reasons. The biggest at the time was to save energy. So after World War I, Germany and Great Britain, they all stopped daylight savings. I don't understand the purpose of having it all the time.
How does daylight savings time affect your schedule?
It really messes with my schedule. I have quite the commute. There are a lot more cars on the road that are not quite awake, and I find it very, very stressful to drive in after we spring forward.
Daylight saving time is just change on the clock. I do have 80 fruit trees and 30 blueberry bushes, and I continue on according to daylight just like most farmers. I don't look at the clock, I look at the sun. So when it starts, the time is off. So I take time off every day, an hour, so I come to work late. That's my routine for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I get on to the new time. So I run on my own schedule according to the sun.
I don't get enough sleep, so that's one thing that affects me, which is kind of sad because we have a lot of work and I'm really sleepy sometimes.
I'd get more time to actually do some things. Like if time was taken away, I wouldn't be able to skate at night and I wouldn't be able to play tennis.
Because we lose an hour of sleep, so my sleep schedule gets a little bit messed up and it just makes things a little bit like hectic for a little bit after that.
I'm probably definitely going to get a lot less sleep. I've never met someone who actually likes daylight savings time. The clocks are all switched up and then you have to get used to the new times and get used to like a new sleep schedule.
And I prefer to have more daylight early in the morning. I believe that the fewer constructs that control our lives, arbitrary things like currency and money, the better our lives will be, the happier we will be.
Do you think that we should still have daylight savings time, or if you could choose, would you get rid of it?
I think I'd get rid of it.
I think daylight saving time should be abolished.
I would choose to get rid of it.
I'd say we should probably get rid of it.
I don't like it, and I wish it would just like not exist.
If we did away with the concept of calendars and times, things might be chaotic for a bit, but I also think that if we could get back to basics like keeping track of time based on the sun, then life would be less chaotic.
Well, there certainly are a lot of different perspectives on daylight savings time here at IPoly. That's over this segment. I'm EJ Fuller. Back to News Desk.
I'm actually getting some breaking news from our superintendent. Let's see what they have to say.
Hi, I'm Dr. Deborah Eduardo, Superintendent of LA County Schools. Yesterday, a CDC official made a remark that said schools should make plans for online or virtual schools in the event the coronavirus continues to spread. We understand this has created concern in our community. And while the coronavirus remains limited to one confirmed case in LA County, it's never too early to begin to plan. We at LACOE will be working with our school districts to identify and develop plans to support the education of our students should school or districts need to close for any reason. In the meantime, we encourage our community to follow good hygiene protocols to prevent the spread of any illness, including washing your hands regularly or staying home if you're ill. Most importantly, we want to ensure that none of our students feel stigmatized and create welcoming school environments. We're counting on everyone to work together to make sure our kids are safe. Thank you.
Here are some tips to keep you safe. Make sure you wash your hands for 20 seconds. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. If you have to cough or sneeze, make sure you do it in your elbow. And then if you're feeling ill, make sure you stay home. Here's Richard with a quick announcement.
Hello, 2 weeks from today, Mr. West is going to be on the set. He's going to be answering questions about college. So if you have any questions related to college, make sure to check out the link in the description and leave them there. We might give you a shout out too.
Well, that's all the time we've got for today's episode. I'm Kobo.
Naimon. This has been your
Eye on IPoly.